Hi everyone, I hope you are well. I'm Leslie and I'm here to demonstrate to you a art therapy technique called free flow expression. So as you can see, I've got a big sheet of paper on the floor. I've put tape to hold it down onto the floor and I've started drawing circles with felt pens. These are big thick marker pens, so I did a really big circle to start with and then you used a pen in both hands to draw some circles and starting to use an oil pastel, one in each hand again. So the idea of this is to be able to really loosen up and get into a space where you can feel more open to expressing different emotions and different thoughts and feelings, more able to connect with yourself and connect with the different art materials that you're using. Maybe this could be used as an art therapy exercise. So if you're an art therapist looking for ideas, then here's one. It's just demonstrated for you. It could be that this could be something that you might want to use for yourself, to be able to explore different art techniques and play with art materials and experiment. And as an artist myself, I find that playing around and experimenting with materials is a good way for me to feel, maybe take away a bit of the stress and a bit of the pressure to perform. And art therapy is very much about the process of the art making rather than about what the picture looks like in the end, what it really looks like as a final piece. So quite often people feel under pressure to make a picture look a certain way or make something turn out in a certain way. But actually this exercise where I've just been playing around and using different marks. Sometimes I pressed on hard like I am doing just now. Other times more softly with the side of the chalk or the pastel. At one point I was making big dots and joining them together. And just the combination of that been really helpful to go with the flow with it. It's like flowing. So if you haven't seen these before, what I'm using now is some paint sticks. So a lot of people describe them to be a little bit like a lipstick or a little bit like a Pritt stick, but full of paint. So a combination of something a bit quite solid. So we've got the package that you hold on to, so it's quite clean and tidy, but then it flows like paint. I find a lot of the young people that I've worked with really like those. So something that kind of feels quite nice to do is, once we've got the spontaneity and the big shapes and the big lines and marks and patterns, is just to go back and maybe colour in some bits. It could be that that's a time to tighten up and bring a bit more control and a bit more order into the picture using some pens or some pencil crayons. Or it might be that building up more layers is really where we're up to. I mean, in this particular drawing, I've used all dry art materials, so nothing too messy. I've not left the paint aside, haven't used that in this at all. But actually, now would be a good time to maybe introduce some paints or introduce some water and allow the water and the ink to mix together, to let some things flow, let some of the colours flow. But yeah, sometimes it's hard knowing when to stop. So actually just being able to kind of go, okay, we can just stop now, that's fine. Or it might be that it can be left aside and then we might go back to that at another point to revisit some of these things. Revisit some of the shapes, relook at it. There's lots of possibilities with this. So I might do part 2 actually, see what else we can do with this big expressive doodle. Very different from the usual doodle that you might have just in the back of a notepad, where very much about doodling with different materials. And so thanks for watching, and Hope you enjoyed this. Have a go yourself. Bye.